Imagine being a warrior so powerful, so legendary, that your name lives on for millennia. A hero whose wrath could reshape the fate of empires, a figure whose very existence is the stuff of myth. That's the story of Achilles, the greatest of the Greek heroes whose glory and tragedy are bound together by fate. Let me take you on a journey through the life of Achilles, the hero whose legend has stood the test of time, and the one flaw that ultimately brought him to his knees. Achilles wasn't born like other men. His mother, Thetis, a sea goddess, wanted to make him invincible. So she dipped him into the river Styx, the river that flowed between the mortal world and the underworld. The water made him impervious to death. But there was one catch. She held him by his heel, and it remained untouched by the magic. The result? Achilles became the mightiest of all warriors, invincible, except for that one small, vulnerable spot on his heel. And thus, the term Achilles' heel was born. Raised in the mountains by the centaur Chiron, Achilles learned more than just how to wield a sword. He became a master of combat, strategy, and strength. His fame spread far and wide. There was no one who could challenge him, no one who could match his speed, his power, or his skill. But Achilles wasn't just a warrior, he was a hero in the making, a man destined for something far greater than just battle. When the Trojan War began, Achilles was called upon to lead the Greeks to victory. It was a war that would define him, but also destroy him. The Greeks, seeking to reclaim Helen from Troy, faced an enemy unlike any they had encountered. And it was Achilles, with his unbeatable strength and unparalleled fighting ability, who could turn the tide of battle. But Achilles wasn't just fighting for victory, he was fighting for his legacy, for his place among the gods themselves. Yet Achilles wasn't invincible to pride. When Agamemnon, the Greek king, took Briseis, a war prize that had been given to Achilles, the great warrior's rage was unleashed. Humiliated, Achilles withdrew from the battle. His anger wasn't just about a woman, it was about respect. It was about his honor. And as Achilles stood on the sidelines, the Greeks began to falter. Without their greatest warrior, the Trojan forces, led by the mighty Hector, began to press on. It was the death of Patroclus, Achilles' closest friend, perhaps even his lover, that would pull him back into the fray. Patroclus, unable to bear the Greek suffering without Achilles, donned his armor and led the Myrmidons into battle. But fate, ever cruel, caught up with him. Hector killed Patroclus. And in that moment, something inside Achilles shattered. His grief and rage were unmatched. His friend was dead because of his pride, and now Achilles' anger was no longer something he could control. Achilles returned to the battlefield, a man consumed by fury. He sought vengeance for Patroclus, and it was in this moment that he faced Hector, the greatest warrior of Troy. The duel between them is one of the most iconic in history. Achilles, with all his rage, tore through Hector, defeating him in a brutal and one-sided battle. But even as Hector lay dead at his feet, Achilles knew that his victory was hollow. His anger had given him this moment. But at what cost? Achilles knew that his time was short. The gods had told him that he would either live a long, peaceful life and be forgotten, or he could choose the path of glory and die young. He chose glory, and it's that very choice that sealed his fate. In his final battle, a single arrow from Paris, aided by the god Apollo, struck Achilles in his one vulnerable spot, his heel. And in that moment, the greatest of warriors fell. Achilles may have died young, but his legacy lives on. His story is not just one of battles won or lost. It's the story of a man who sought greatness, defied the gods, and ultimately paid the price for his pride. Achilles is remembered as the hero who could not be beaten on the battlefield, but who was undone by his own flaws. His story is a reminder that even the greatest heroes are human, and that the pursuit of glory comes at a cost.